everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another MAMJ Let's Play of Dream Daddy. When we left off, we decimated Brian in mini golf. And we also did this weird butterfly thing with Damien, but we decimated Brian in mini golf. And now I think we're gonna go fishing. So let's do that. Let's see what's going on with him. Shall we? I'm ready. I'm ready to go fishing. I'm really bad, personally, at fishing because as much as I'm patient with people, I'm not patient with like things. So I guess that counts as like fish, because I was so bored that I would cast out the line and then take a book and read the entire book and then check the line. And one time there was a fish that died because it was there for so long and I didn't even notice that I caught the fish. I was just like, oh, it's not alive anymore. Anyways, we got a message from Brian. Hey, Daisy and I are going fishing tomorrow. Are you in or out? Oh no, I've been dreading this day. I accidentally boasted about my abilities as a fisherman to Brian and now he's challenging me to another dad-off. I've been doing my fishing research online, but I'm nowhere close to being an expert. Still though, I have to accept. I typed back to Brian. Sounds great, man. Super excited to... What's it say? To catch all those fish, and my lawn could use another good mowing. That'll show him. Brian responds back, letting me know that tomorrow he'll pick us up in an hour. What am I talking about? An hour I had previously forgotten existed. Got it. Really early in the morning. Man, that's gonna be a rough start. Amanda comes into the room for the kitchen, eating a cheese stick by biting it off piece by piece like some kind of monster. I didn't raise you like that. What? It's called string cheese and not chompy cheese for a reason, Amanda. Did you just call me in here to criticize my controversial string cheese eating technique or what? No, Amanda, we have to go fishing tomorrow. Well, you have to go fishing. I get to play with Brian's dog. How do I become a master of fishing overnight? You went fishing in the Girl Scouts, didn't you? Nope. My stint in the Scouts was brief and purely transactional. Thought I could get some free cookies, but I didn't know that I had to like be outside and tie knots and stuff. But I have to beat Brian. Dad, let me tell you a story. Do you remember last summer how I applied for a job at that coffee shop across town? Give me a refresher. During the interview, they asked me if I knew how to work an espresso machine, and I really wanted the job, so I lied and said yes. On that first morning, there was a line out the door, and within half an hour, I severely burned my hand, and they told me to go home and never come back. I still have a scar from that. Of course I remember. What does that have to do with fishing? The burn is the metaphor, Dad. I don't get it. You can lead a horse to water. What do horses have to do with fish and burns? Dad, please. I don't get your obsession with competing against Brian. You wouldn't understand. It's a dad thing. Please try explaining it to me. Okay. Brian's he just thinks that he's so much better than me, and he purposefully reminds me of that whenever he can. It's like he has to one-up me. I have to beat him at his own game. Is that what you think is happening here? No, Amanda. Okay, good. I know that's what's happening. All right, Pops. We should both be getting some sleep. See you in the morning? Night, Panda. This is gonna be interesting. I brush my teeth and throw on some pajamas. I climb into bed, set my alarm, and close my eyes. Okay, sleep. I am wide awake. I can't help but think about the last time I went fishing, hoping that there's something I can glean from it to give me an edge over Brian. I was about 9 years old. My dad woke me up one morning and told me to get dressed and made him downstairs. It was still dark out. I had no idea what was going on, but before I knew it, we were both alone on a freezing cold lake. I had to sit there for hours while it got hot and muggy, the air thick with bugs. I picked at mosquito bites while my dad sat in stony silence, fishing pole in one hand and beer in the other. We didn't catch anything. On the long drive home, my father bought me a pack of cigarettes and didn't say a thing. That didn't help, and I think I have some repressed sadness about my father. I'll deal with that later. I'm sitting on a boat in the middle of a body of water. I can't see any land, but I know it's a lake. The water is placid and still. I'm holding a fishing pole. I don't understand why, but it feels like my life depends on catching fish right now. I cast my lure into the water and wait. And wait. And wait. My whole being is filled with hopelessness as I watch the line disappear into the depths below. You used the wrong lure. I look up and see my father, just as he looked that one cold morning, disapproving. I'm panicking now. I pour the lure up and try to grab a different one, but all the lures in the tackle box are the exact same. I look up to my father for guidance, but he's gone. I try casting again, but I can't find my footing. My boat tips over and I fall into the water, sinking further and further. I see multitudes of fish that have been lying just below the surface, all swimming around me as if to taunt me. One fish swims up to me. He has Brian's eyes. You gotta use a neutral buoyancy lure if you're trying to catch trout, buddy. I jolt awake to the sound of my alarm. It's fishing day. That would explain the weird dream. I groggily slip on clothes and get ready. I spot Amanda's door half open and see her still curled up in a mountain of blankets. Walking over to her bed, I give her a tiny kiss on the forehead. Fishing day, kiddo. You ready? No. Well, you gotta get up. I can't do this without you. Also, stop sleeping in your clothes. Amanda pulls her comforter over her head. Never. Amanda. I'll get up in a minute. Alright, Brian should be here in 20, so you better just not go back to sleep. Amanda sticks her hand out through the blanket to wave me away. I leave her room and make myself some coffee and another cup with lots of cream and sugar for Amanda, whenever she gets up. Amanda eventually wanders down and chugs her coffee while I do word jumbles. I hear the doorbell ring. That must be Brian. Still rubbing our eyes, we walk outside to see Brian. He's decked out in fishing gear. Daisy's falling asleep next to him. Hey. Early bird gets the worm, buddy. You ready to fish? I was born ready. My eyes narrow in on Brian. It's a good day to die. Hop on in, guys. Let's get this fishing party started. I walk over to the driver's side door and open it. Woof woof. Brian's dog immediately hops into the driver's seat, wagging its tail furiously. Yeah, he's ready. Can I see your license, sir? Maxwell, let Kelly sit. Maxwell obediently hops into the back to cuddle with Daisy. Amanda settles in next to Maxwell and Daisy and immediately falls asleep. You ready for an adventure? I'm ready for glory. I struggle to stay awake as we drive to the outskirts of town. Country music plays quietly from the radio as I watch the trees pass by. So, where exactly are we headed? It's about an hour north of here. Little spot I've been going to since I was a kid. My dad used to take me there all the time. I don't think anybody else knows about it. I brought everything we need so that we can catch some trout, have a nice little fire, and enjoy the nature. My fishing pole is in the shop, getting tuned up. Do you maybe have an extra I could borrow? But of course, it's probably not as nice as it sounds like yours, though. Right. I'm digging a hole here. I stare out of the forest lining the highway. The sun is just barely over the horizon, scattering the dusky pink light through the trees. For a split second, I spotted a deer grazing on the side of the road before it leaps back into the brush. After a nice, quiet drive, Brian eventually tells me to pull off the highway and onto a dirt road. The car bumps along until we reach a clearing that opens up to a magnificent lake. Well, here we are. I step out of the car and help Brian unload our gear as Maxwell runs around us barking. The kids wake up and wander over to the shore, where Daisy tries to teach Amanda how to skip rocks. Brian and I carry the tackle boxes and cooler down to the edge of the lake, where he has a canoe waiting. Ah, great. It's still in one piece. Hold on. Help me out with Maxwell. I help Brian place a tiny, dog-sized life vest onto Maxwell. Woof, woof. All right, your turn. Brian hands me a lime green life vest. Maybe if I fall in, you'll save me. If I fall in, I'm counting on you to rescue me. Suit yourself. Brian turns to Amanda and Daisy, who are still skipping rocks. You kids want a fish?
Ugh.
I'm good with just throwing rocks into the water. Amanda hurls a rock into the pond with gusto. Yeah, take that, water! Amanda, you're supposed to be skipping them.
Huh?
Is that what you're doing? Daisy, don't you want a fish? I think catching fish is kind of inhumane. We're gonna go explore in the woods and look at bugs and stuff. Alright, be safe. Don't go too far. Brian puts on the life vest around himself, and we all throw all of our equipment into the canoe. Maxwell happily jumps in and takes his place looking out over the front of the boat. I get into the canoe as Brian shoves off. We paddle together to get ourselves in the middle of the lake. Most freshwater fish usually feed at dusk and dawn, which is why I had to get you up so early. Yeah, I know. That's pretty common fisherman knowledge after all. Fisherman knowledge that I am knowledgeable about. Still a gambling man? You know it. Let's see who can catch more fish. You can catch more than one? Sounds easy to me. What's on the line? Besides all the fish I'm gonna catch, obviously. Hey. I was thinking something a little more high stakes than mowing the lawn. Custody of our children? More than that. Let's say, if I win, I get your weed whacker. The Wagmaster 2000? That's a limited edition. But if you win, you get my pole saw, the Reach and Cut 3000. The cordless version? That's the one. No, the Reach and Cut 3000 is state of the art. My weed whacker's a prized possession, but those are hard to reach branches at the back of the yard that have been begging for a pruning. You're on. We shake on it. I suddenly remember that I don't know how to fish. My foolish, fatherly pride will one day be my undoing. I watch as Brian ties the lure and does some stuff that I can't quite follow with his fishing pole. He casts it into the lake. Oh boy, now I have to do that. I stare down at the tackle box and at the pole in my hand. Put some bait on the hook, yeah. I fish a worm from the styrofoam container Brian bought. It's slippery, but I think I can get it on the hook if I just focus. Oh God, I'm bleeding. Oh God, the blood's everywhere. The worm is not on the hook. Need some help? No, I meant to do that. The blood attracts the fish. They can smell it up to a mile away, you know? I think that's sharks. No, it's definitely fish. Now what? Tie a knot or something. I take my pole and try to tie an elaborate looking knot to impress Brian. The classic hunter's bend. I learned that one in my youth. Yep, this one isn't coming apart anytime soon. With this knot, I will cast my heavenly line upon the unsuspecting water and deliver unto us a bountiful harvest. I look over to Brian. He doesn't seem to be paying attention. Let's cast this sucker. I pull my rod back and launch the lure as hard as I can. And the lure flies off the line and sails far, far away, landing in the lake with a loud sploosh. Sorry, I judged the wind speed wrong. This cold air drives the pressure down. Yeah. Go ahead and take my pole. I know it's hard switching to a new pole you're not used to, but I'll fix up another lure. Brian hands me his pole with a smile, and I just sit there, feeling like an idiot. I got a fish! Oh! Fishing around here is easy. They group up. All you gotta do is line 3 of the same species and reel them in. I need to match 3 of the same species? I can't tell which fish is which.
Match that fish.
What is happening?
Now you're
fishing catch of the day.
Okay. What? Oh, largemouth bass, popular sport fish. Made by the infamous... oh, Billy Bass! Okay. What? No, I don't... I totally understand having an off day. It's no big deal. No, I want things to happen. I just don't know what's happening. There we go.
Now you're fishing.
Now I'm fishing.
Now you're fishing. Nice catch.
Thank you. So very much. Oh god. Oh, there's a time limit. I didn't even notice. I'm trying to figure out how to play this matching game all of a sudden. That's just happening.
Rainbow trout.
Rainbow, what? Okay, sure, yeah. I meant to do that.
Now you're fishing. Now
Definitely meant to do that. Oh god. You guys can swap? And you guys can swap?
Match of the day. Nice match.
Okay. I'm doing fairly well, actually. You can go here. This is so weird. It's fun. I don't know if you can do like just the mini games later, because that would be fun to do in the future. I also need to focus. Okay. There's multiple fish. And that one. I'm not getting the chain reactions though. I need those big old chains.
Nice match.
Okay, here we go. And you.
Nice catch.
You.
Nice match.
Oh, this is the worst. Oh god. Oh, I got an S. Good work. Thanks. I actually wouldn't mind playing that again. I don't play games like that often, so, you know, I don't do mobile games or... Wow, this is way tougher than I thought. I look over to Brian, who's smiling and obviously enjoying his time out here on the lake. If fishing was like that, though, I might do it more. I will crush him. Suddenly, the fishing pole jumps in my hand. I reflectively tug upwards. I think I got something big. The tip of the pole dips down repeatedly, and the line starts to run.
Hey.
Reel it in. I finally get the fish right up next to the boat. It's a long, beautiful rainbow trout. Brian hands me a net. It's all yours. I lean down and notice that my hands are shaking with excitement. This fish is bigger than all the ones Brian's caught. That pole saw is mine. The entire canoe tips over with me. I find myself sinking into the lake. I should have taken the life vest. All of a sudden, I'm embraced under the water and pulled into Brian's arms. I'm finally dragged upward, sputtering water. All of our gear floats on the surface. Maxwell doggy paddles around us in circles, having a great time. You all right? Does that count as one? Well, seeing as all our fish are now swimming safely back in the lake, I guess so. Brian laughs. Let's get you to shore. Brian and I flip the canoe back over and fill it with our now soaking wet gear. We row back to shore with Maxwell in tow. Once we get to the beach, Maxwell darts off into the woods. Brian takes off his shirt. Dots of lake water glisten in the sun across his strong back. Man, all that general contracting must have built that guy like an ox. I hope he doesn't notice me staring. I'm gonna get a fire going so we can dry off. Wanna hand me yours? Yeah, okay. I reluctantly take off my own shirt and toss it to Brian. I suddenly wish that I had done more sit-ups in my life, or any sit-ups at all, really. Another thing you've bested me in, stupid, sexy Brian. You might as well fry that shirt up. Seems like the only lunch we'll have. The day's young. We can catch more fish from the shore. Once Brian gets the fire going, I sit and try to dry off my pants. Brian sets a couple of lures out by the water's edge. We're probably gonna have to put the kibosh on the competition for now. Until another day. My stomach growls.
I don't know about that.
You hungry? Oh, I'm fine. Brian reaches into his cargo shorts and pulls out a few granola bars. I have a small child. I am flushed with snacks. Brian joins me by the fire and I accept the cargo short granola. And now, we're back to waiting. Where did the girls get off to? Shouldn't they be back by now? I wouldn't worry about it too much. They're a couple of smart kids. That's what I'm worried about. They're too smart. They've probably established a small rural government by this point and installed themselves as leaders. I take a look around at the sun cresting the tree line, casting the entire lake in a warm golden glow. The forest seems to be coming alive now. Birds chirp in the distance. Wow, nature's beautiful. A mosquito bites me. I slap my neck and curse. Nature sucks. Here you go, bud. Brian hands me a bottle of bug spray. I begrudgingly take it and douse myself. I've always hated how this stuff smells. Really? I've always kind of liked it. Reminds me of being outside. Maybe you and I have different sentiments on the outdoors. Maxwell comes bounding up to me, a huge stick in his mouth. He drops it at my feet and looks at me expectantly. Break the stick in half to assert your dominance? That would be so mean. Throw it toward the woods. I hurl the stick as hard as I can towards the tree line. Maxwell bolts after it, running as fast as his stubby little legs can carry him. Which, consequently, is not very fast. It is very cute, though.
Hey.
Nice throw, Kelly. I turn away so he can't see me blush. Maxwell brings the stick back to me, clearly proud of himself. Good boy, Maxwell. You're a very good and speedy boy. You're the world champ of fetch. It's time for the pets. What's the plan? Let's go behind the ear. I give Maxwell some nice little scratches behind his floppy ears. He responds in kind by licking my face. He really likes you. Be careful. He's going to try and follow you home if you keep that up. I scratch Maxwell's ears more intensely. I'm going to steal your dog, Brian. We both laugh, but I'm only kind of kidding. Like, I'm legit. We're taking the dog. It's mine. While I'm playing with Maxwell, fish begin routinely pulling on Brian's lines. I watch Brian effortlessly fillet the fish, squeezing a bit of lemon on them and frying them up in a cast iron pan. Before we know it, we have a feast fit for a couple of shirtless dudes. Amanda and Daisy emerge from the woods, looking totally unscathed. Well, I mean, yeah, they just started a society. It's not that big of a deal. Whoa. Dad Bod Patrol. Sorry. I'm gonna have to issue you both a citation and demand you both put your shirts on. There are children present. Brian tosses me my now dry shirt. I pull it over my head, thankful that I will no longer be distracted by Brian and his pecs. Where have you guys been? Studying entomology? What? Gonta! We were playing with bugs. I expected you guys to be more covered in, like, mud and stuff. Daisy looks offended. What do you take me for, a child? Amanda puts her hand on Daisy's shoulder. Right. Aw, so cute. We take a seat around the fire and Brian serves us all generous piles of fish on paper plates. It's absolutely delicious. Why does he have to be so good at everything?
Well...
Fish taste okay? Daisy and Amanda both nod furiously, mouths full of fish. It's incredible. I've never had a fish this good. Yeah, it's great. Old Harding family recipe.
Huh?
Why are your pants wet? Well, Amanda, we were out on the lake and then I accidentally tipped over the boat. Don't worry, all of the gear floated to the surface so we didn't lose anything. Right, Kelly? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I can't believe he just covered for me. Gosh, he even out humbles me. He's trying to beat me at everything, including my world-famous sense of humility. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. We finish our fish and we end up playing catch with Maxwell for a little while before we decide to head out. After cleaning up the camp, we pack up the station wagon and let Maxwell into the back seat. The poor pup falls asleep in a cuddle puddle with Amanda and Daisy. They've had a long day. Been an ordeal today, bud. Let me drive you guys home. I want to prove that I'm the most awake dad on the block, but Yeah, I'm beat. Fine. Aww. As we drive away, I take one last look at the lake disappearing behind us and smile. I rest my head against the window, and the low rumble of the dirt road beneath us lulls me into a peaceful sleep. Hey, sleepyhead. I open my eyes and realize that I dozed off in the car. I self-consciously wipe a bit of drool off of my chin. Oh, hey, I was resting my eyes. Just in case we suddenly have to jump into any sort of conflict, so I'm super awake for it. And ready to fight. With my strong arms. It's all good. You earned some rest, buddy. Thanks for coming out with us today. I had a lot of fun with you. Thanks for inviting us. I also had fun, actually. Glad to hear it. Take it easy, yeah? You too. Take it the easiest. Brian chuckles to himself as he unloads the car. Amanda and I get inside and immediately collapse onto the couch. Long day? Yep. I was so close to that pole saw. Pole saw? Yeah, Brian and I were competing as to who could catch the most fish and... Stop. Why do you care so much? Amanda Panda, just look at the guy. He's so obviously got my number and he's rubbing my face in it.
Ugh.
Dad, I love you. But you're kind of dumb sometimes. Dumb? Or clearly the superior dad? You know what? I don't have any of the energy required to properly unpack your weird fixation with asserting your masculinity. I'm going to bed. Night. Amanda slides off the couch and face down onto the floor. I am a tired slug. Amanda, that floor is disgusting. I don't care. Well, night, honey. Night, Pops. Aww. I was like, are they both gonna fall asleep on the floor? Because that would be adorable. Oh yeah, all that corgi and bass, whatever you want to call it.
That's a 10 out of 10 if ever I've seen one.
Nice. Okay, that was a good little date. So I think next time is supposed to be the third date.
You've got that.
Which is typically the final one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and leave this episode right here, and we'll see what happens next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next MAMJ. Let's play.